Hi everyone and welcome to my kitchen. Today we are going to practice English by baking a cake together. So today we are going to make a clementine cake. I've never made it before, so let's see how it goes. So if you want to learn how to make a cake and learn some English along the way, then you are in the right place. Let's first discuss the definition of cook versus bake. To cook is to use the stovetop here to make food, but to bake is to go in the oven. You can bake chicken, you can bake fish, but usually people think bake, they think cake. So let's get started. A clementine is like a really small orange. In the United States, you can call these clementines, tangerines, or like mandarin oranges. They are really small oranges. I don't really have every ingredient that I need, but I have enough. I know, you're like, Ms. B, this is already going to go wrong. Let's not think that way. So to boil is to fill a pot with water and turn it up really high until you see bubbles and it starts to ripple. So I've turned the heat up really high. I'm going to wait for the water to boil. And remember, this is a gas stove. It has the click and a flame versus an electric stove, which looks like this. So this recipe, I don't think calls for them to be boiled, but I've seen a couple of recipes online, so I'm pulling and mixing things from a bunch of different recipes. So bear with me. As we wait for the clementines to boil, we are going to prepare or put the rest of our ingredients together. Today, I am using coconut oil as my oil and I need to melt it before I use it. So I want to make sure it cools down before it goes into the cake so it does not cook the eggs. So first, I am going to melt this oil to give it some time to cool. So next, I am going to put the coconut oil into the microwave for about 15 seconds to melt it. All right, now I've melted my 1/4 cup of oil. I'm going to put this to the side. Next, we are going to mix up 4 eggs into a bowl. So crack 4 eggs into a bowl. Next, I will use this. This is called a whisk to whisk the eggs. Okay, once that is whisked together, I am also going to set that to the side. Add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract into a bowl and then set it to the side. So this recipe calls for... Oh no, hold on. In English, we call this white sugar. Now, after this is 2 cups of flour. Here is our dry mix so far. You can see everything in there we will have to mix together. But finally, I want to add a pinch of salt. Here is my salt, a pinch of salt. So I added a pinch of salt into the bowl. I'm going to stir or mix everything together. Okay, now you might be thinking, Miss B, what about the oven temperature? What about the clementines? And I would say, I didn't forget about those. Now your clementines are a little bit softer. Now you're going to blend them up anyways, but adding in a little bit of extra moisture and some heat can soften them a little bit to make them easier to blend. Now they probably won't be as soft as like a jam or a jelly, but you do want to break them down a little bit. So as the oven preheats, we are going to blend those clementines. Okay, so I am going to take these out of the pot carefully. They've softened up quite a bit, which will help them blend together. Now, if you want to cut them up to help them blend, you can do that too, but I'm taking the whole clementine and putting it into a blending cup. I will show you that next. Clearly, it's a little bit too small. So now I'm going to take my blending cup like this, Mix this together, but be careful. These are really hot, and some blenders will actually explode under the pressure of the heat and the steam. So be careful. I'm actually going to blend these up one at a time. I am going to pulse it, which means I'm going to go blend, 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 blend. You'll see, watch. Okay, now here's the fun part. I am going to mix my orange with my vanilla and with my dry mixture first. Then once this cools a little bit with the rest of the ingredients, then we will add the eggs. Don't add them while these oranges are still this hot, or else it's going to cook your eggs. So mix it with your dry ingredients and the vanilla. I suggest you mix with a fork, and then we will whisk it all together at the end. Save the rest of your oil. There's always a little bit. Save this oil to grease your pan next. Finally, I'm adding the eggs now that the mixture has cooled down a little bit more. I'm going to take my whisk again and whisk everything together. Okay, now that I have whisked everything together, I'm actually making it in like a little bread pan because that's all I have. If you use a round cake pan, I suggest cooking it for this amount of time here. Make sure all the ingredients are blended together. Tap, tap, tap. Spin, spin, spin. Okay. And pour this slowly into your cake pan. If you are enjoying the video so far, tell me in the comments below, what's your favorite kind of cake? This is done. Okay, so as you can see here, the cake was removed from the pan and now it's sitting on my counter ready to be finished. I am taking some powdered sugar, right? Some regular powdered sugar, nothing fancy. But I am actually going to use a sifter to sift the powdered sugar on top of the cake. All right, clearly I like a pretty heavy dusting. Okay, now we're going to plate it and try it. I hope it's good. Okay, here we have it. As you can see, there is still steam coming off the cake, but not too bad for a first try. I don't think so, at least. Okay, so let's cut a piece and try it together. Okay. So my final thoughts are that it's pretty good, not too sweet, and a nice light orange flavor. I honestly might eat this for breakfast. It's not that sweet, but it's not very healthy either. Either way, I hope you enjoyed baking with me and learned a little bit more English. I will also leave a vocabulary list down below for you to download. That way you can practice the new words you learned during this video. Before you go, don't forget to check out my school page. There, I post weekly videos and weekly practice packets. And you have the opportunity to chat me on there as well, and join an exclusive live here and there. If you want more of my materials and more videos from me, check out my school.com platform. It's After Class English with Ms. B, linked in the description down below. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Bye everyone!